And welcome into Tennessee Tuesday. It's Tuesday evening, July the 7th. Today is our end of season number 2. My co-host is Jason Boshiers with me tonight. And Jason, man, we have had 2 great seasons so far and getting ready to wrap up episode 25 in season 2 tonight.
Oh, that's awesome. I can remember when we started talking about this, and then here we are finishing our second season. It's very humbling, and I want to thank everybody who has joined us, watch this, and you make this show possible. Without you, we wouldn't be doing it. Thank you.
Absolutely. We thank all of those that are watching, all of our sponsors here of the program and the SCV Chat Network. And as we start out tonight, as we do each week, as our disclaimer tonight, the views and opinions you hear on this broadcast are solely our own, not of the SCV, its GEC, divisions, camps, or brigades. Solely our own opinion tonight, and we will share some of those with you this evening. This is going to be kind of a light program, I believe, tonight, Jason. We're going to look back over the past roughly a year or so. We're some 40 some odd programs. I didn't count that official number in the books now, and we'll look at some of those episodes that we've had. We'll talk some SCV national news as we're getting ready to come up on the convention and the reunion in Lexington, Kentucky. We know there's going to be an election this year. There are some contested races there. We'll mention those candidates tonight and to tell you how you can vote and some things you need to know that was released today from Executive Director Adam Southern at headquarters about how you need to vote. We'll talk about that during the show tonight. Also, we've got a lot of stuff that's been sent in to us here at Tennessee Tuesday of our different camps in the division, and we'll share some of the activities they've been involved in, talk about some other events coming up. So it's going to be a busy night tonight here on Tennessee Tuesday for the next hour or so. And as Jason, some say, when we say we'll be a shorter program tonight, that turns out to be our longest one yet. So I don't think we'll do 2 hours tonight. unless our viewers, just say, we want to hear you guys talk for 2 hours. If not, we'll be here with you an hour tonight. It's always a fun Tuesday. I look forward to this each Tuesday evening to do this show with Jason. We've had some great guests, Jason, and we've got some great viewers, and we want to go through a few of those. I'll do a few, and then how about you do a few tonight? And I won't do all the talking, let you do some of that this evening as well. But let's start out with Randy, of course, joining us from Union City. Hope he's doing well up that way. He's commander of Camp 176 and our lieutenant brigade commander in the brigade I'm in, the Jeffrey Forrest Brigade here in West Tennessee. So good to have Randy on with us this evening. Also, Daniel Brooks up in Kentucky with us tonight, as always. So look forward to probably be seeing him here in about a week or so as we be making our way up to Lexington. And I appreciate him being with us this evening. Also, Johnny Jenkins always joins us from Springfield, Missouri. Glad to have him here with us tonight. And our friend, the Florida man, of course, on his show Wednesday night, you hear Looking Around Florida. He's checking in, Sean McFall. Sean, hope you're doing well tonight. And another Sean Hill, our second lieutenant commander of the Tennessee Division, checking in from Lewisburg, Tennessee tonight. And one more here, Jason, I'm going to give is a shout out to Chuck Roydhouse joining us tonight, and 2 excellent years of great Southern pride. I hope it's been good. Hope you've enjoyed it, and we do thank you for staying with us. And we look forward to doing this for a long time and getting in season 3 after the reunion. So, Jason, I'm gonna let you take over from some of those and let you do some shout outs to some folks.
I'll be happy to. And there's old JP, Mr. James Price himself, coming to us from the Ike Stone Camp in Henderson, Tennessee. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Price. Then we have Mr. Daniel Santiago. Thank you for joining us again. You're here every Tuesday night, and I want to thank you for being here. Okay, then we have, let's see. We just had a lightning strike here at the house.
Oh, big pop.
Yeah, it popped real good. Let's see if I can get this thing moving a little bit. My mouse doesn't want to move. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah. Yes. See if you can handle. There's Daniel. See if you can handle. There it is. I'm going back to Daniel. Yeah. I've lost them. Then it come back. There you
go. Maybe that lightning strike affected a little power surge there.
It must have been because all of a sudden the mouse didn't want to work and the keyboard didn't want to. But everything else is still on. I believe we know this gentleman, and I believe we will see him this coming weekend at reunion. Well, not this weekend, but into next week. I want to thank you for joining us, Commander. Greetings, Tennessee, headed your way in the morning. Kentucky Division taking over Pigeon Forge and Knoxville for a few days. So people are coming to Kentucky, and Kentucky people are leaving Kentucky.
Are they scared of us, Jason? Is that what it is, or? He said taking over, so Kyle's taking us over, man.
Yes, and I see him doing that Hulk Hogan arm right there on the end. So he's going to strong arm us into it.
little Hulkamania going on.
You got that right. We'll be talking to you real soon, Kyle. Let's see, David Pope. It's a beautiful evening here in the Valley of East Tennessee. Good evening from Knoxville. And the Longstreet Zollifer Camp number 87 is present. Thank you for joining us, David. He does all the time, and he does a great show. Friends of Douglas Southall Freeman on Friday night. He joined us quite a few times over the July 4 weekend.
Yeah, he had several videos.
Yes, he did a great job. And this is one of the men I'm really hoping is going to be at National Reunion. Mr. Floyd Harvey, can't wait to see you again. Thank you for joining us again from the James M. Keller Camp 648, Hot Springs, Arkansas. I'll tell you, y'all gentlemen put on a heck of a national reunion.
Yes, it was nice.
And I tell you, I thank you for that. And then we have Mr. Josh Dowdy. A good evening from the General William B. Baton Camp number 34 in Gallatin, Tennessee. Thank you for joining us, Josh. Appreciate that. Okay, congratulations. I think he's congratulating Tennessee Tuesday. Congratulations from the Friends of Douglas Southall Freeman and our Friday program, Friday Night Light. Thank you much. I'll do one more on this one. Joining us from the 5th Brigade, Mississippi Division, Sons of Confederate Veterans. Thank you for joining us. The thing is, who is running this? Is this Harrison? Is this Forrest? Inquiring minds want to know.
We want to know tonight. Mm-hmm.
Yes, the 5th Brigade. Hey, you chimed in. Thank you for coming and visiting. But who's the man behind the mask? If you'd like to continue, you go, John.
Yeah, let me say a few more, and then we'll get into some of our topics tonight to talk about. Elliot Jackson joining us. Good to see Elliot tonight. Appreciate him being on with us and making me think about from the 5th Brigade. I now have a nickname, according to Moose. We may or may not share that later tonight, and we'll give you an explanation why I have that nickname he has finally picked out for me. Mr. Charles LeRae joining us from South Louisiana. I know he's getting ready to make the trip up to Lexington, Kentucky here in a few days. We'll be talking about him and also Roy Hudson here in a little while as they're campaigning over the last few months for Lieutenant Commander in Chief. We'll be sure to mention both of them again coming up in just a little while. Daniel saying thank you to us tonight. Kim joining us from Jacksonville and the Kirby Smith Camp 1209. Good to have Kim on with us again. Let's see. He's not going to be there. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, he might not be division commander in Kentucky anymore if he's not there to help. They may send him home after that. I don't know. Maybe he wants to be sent home. Let's see. Also joining us here. Let's see. Looking forward to playing a tourist in Central Kentucky. Yep. We're going to be doing some of that as well, Charles. Going to kind of see what to find. I know there's a big antique store I think we're going to try to check out Thursday afternoon. Maybe bring some things home we don't need. David Pope, yes, America's only 250 years old once, and all 3 of those episodes are still up there. So make sure you go and join the Friends of Douglas Southall Freeman Facebook group, and you can watch those too. And then Floyd saying he will be stopping by the National Museum on his way to Kentucky, and you will enjoy that. It's a very good museum as we talk about each week. And great job Adam and all his staff are doing there at headquarters to make that fine museum that it is. So we've got through our first comments tonight, Jason. It's going to be a good program. We look back over, 2 seasons already. I guess it was about a year ago this time. We were finishing up our talks of how we wanted to do this and kicked it off. What great guests that we've had. Again, this program is so good, I believe, Jason, by having guests. The guests are what make it good. When you just have us talking, sometimes we're all right. But when you have guests on, it just makes it so much more interesting. We've learned about so many great things our SCV camps are doing and our members are doing. I know there's still people talking about last week's program with Sean Hill and learning about those Confederate mascots. I think several people learned about things we didn't know about. So that was definitely a good show. And that just shows the kind of programming we want to bring here on Tennessee Tuesday. It's not about me and Jason. First, it's about our ancestors. As you can see, it's our history to tell. We want to tell the history of the Southern soldier, his reason for fighting. I shared earlier today, Jason, you may have seen the video on our Tennessee Division members Facebook group. There was a video that was produced out of Georgia, and it's talking about Stone Mountain, and it's anti-anything Confederate, really anti-anything Southern. That shows what we're up against. That's why programs like we're doing these, to be able to tell the story of the South and of the Southern soldier and the Confederacy and get that true history that's been taught in more recent years that's been wiped away in some aspect. We don't want that to happen. We want to be able to take control of that narrative, as the guys with SCV Chat first put out there, and taking back that narrative. That's what we want to do with these programs, to offer quality programming and interesting talk as well, and have a good time too. And it's been fun, and we look forward to continuing to do this show. And we have so many things we need to talk about, Jason, tonight as we reminisce and look back over the past year. The first few things we want to do, let's talk about National Reunion first, then we'll get into our first break. I know National Reunion is coming up this next week. It's hard to believe another year is going by. I was looking in some of my social media memories, and a year ago when we were in Texas, and some of the sights and sounds we saw on our way down, and hard to believe another year is already been gone. But you see the 131st SCV National Reunion held in Lexington, Kentucky. You still have time to register if you'd like to come and be there for the business sessions. 131scv.org is where you go to get that information. of how you can register there online, get that taken care of. Again, the meal part and the special meals, such as the different luncheons and breakfasts, those have already ended. So you won't be able to come into those now. Those are already ordered and done. But there's many other things to do in that area that you'll be able to tour and go see things. Of course, the reunion is the business session as well. So that's coming up, 131scv.org. And Jason, since we know the dates are the 15th through the 19th for the official part, but there's some things outside of those dates that are happening as well. Do you want to talk about what's coming up on this Saturday?
Oh, yes, sir. I'd be happy to. Starting on Saturday of the 11th, it's something they have down as going on all day. But if you look at the schedule of events, it's called the Welcome Home to Kentucky Good Old Southern Barbecue. You've seen the pictures we put on here, and we talked about if you were at the Nathan Bedford Forrest Boyhood Home back in June, you got to eat bacon. Now, they had two hogs that they raised, and they being the boys of the Bluegrass Brigade, and I talked to them several times over the winter. A foot of ice, skating around out there, hand feeding these hogs, hand watering these hogs, and they had ham and bacon. And ham and bacon, you got to eat bacon if you were at the Forrest Boyhood Home. He went about 100 pounds. Ham goes about 270 right now. And they're going to have ham. That's what you're going to eat on that Saturday, July the 11th. If you come to that, and it's free. And they say the meal starts at 5 p.m. But and the location is the Bottoms House. That's on Hayes Mays Road in Perryville, Kentucky, right by the Perryville battlefield. So you could go up there, spend Saturday at the Perryville battlefield, and then join us at the Bottoms House and have some barbecue. Because this is what our ancestors would have done. You know, when they put these on as United Confederate Veterans, they would put a hog in the ground. You know, they would have an event like this. And I want to thank Chris Hawkins and all of those boys in the Bluegrass Brigade for bringing this back. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. That starts out. And then lots of folks like you and Linda, y'all are going up early for that. Then you're going to be kind of helping out with the different activities and events coming up to, of course, the business session is going to start on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, which most people will be at. There's some other meetings and activities that take place. The General Executive Council has some meetings during those off days as well. But something folks need to know, Jason, that are coming, it's an election year, of course, and we're going to talk more about those in just a moment. But you will need an official credentials form that you will need there during that time if you are going to vote in the election. And I want to go ahead and let's see if we can pull up this screenshot here. And I want to share this tonight. I think I can share this. Adam Southern, our executive director, put out earlier today on our Telegraph information about this credentials form that you will need this and what you will need to vote. So let's go ahead and share that form there. There's what the form looks like. It's available on the 131scv.org site for reunion. You can go and download this, and you'll need a couple of things filled out there. The camp commander needs to sign, the camp adjutant, and if you're there as a delegate, you'll need to put your name there. And you'll need to bring that with you when it's voting time. Something else that Adam, as executive director, mentioned in his social media post and his letter of information he put out, that you'll need your SCV membership card and ID with you this time to be able to vote. And I know there's been some question to that, and I believe that may be a little change, Jason, than we've seen in previous years. But make sure you got your ID and, of course, your membership card, and that will make it go so much easier, too, especially if they're not having to look up information and you have that there and available. So you need to get that form if you're planning on voting at this year's national reunion. You need to download that, have that ready. Don't wait till you get up there and try to find a place to print it and fill it out. You'll have to have that or you will not vote. So that's very important to know, but it's a really easy form. We all make forms and work with forms, Jason, but this is one of the easiest ones you can do. There's just very few things you have to fill out and get that done. But make sure that's taken care of.
And you're so correct about that. Very easy to fill out. And John is correct. Go to 131scv.org. And then you can, across the top, they have some drop down buttons, and forms is one of those. If you will click that, you'll see at the very bottom, it says credential form.
Yeah.
All you got to do is click on that, print it off, and get it filled out before you ever get there, because the camp adjutant's going to have to sign off, or the camp commander, somebody's going to have to, but then the delegates are going to have to be done. And the reason why they're wanting everybody to have their ID is, well, we talk about having voter ID to be able to vote.
Just prove who you are, that you're that person that's on that form.
Yes.
We won't know everybody, but everybody doesn't know every member. So that just makes it simpler, and it makes it accurate that the right people are voting. And let me give people a little word of advice. Something I always do on any forms: bring you a couple of copies of it. Stick one in your luggage and one in your briefcase. So just in case you misplace one, you do have it. So you're not scrambling last minute like, oh no, I've left it somewhere. You'll have one in your briefcase, or a folder you bring with you, maybe one stuck in your luggage. Been there, done that. Stuff like that's happened before. So make sure you have an extra copy with you, or even I always keep blank copies of everything, just in case somebody else needs one. You might be able to help somebody out, because that will happen. We want to say hello to Herbert Turner joining us tonight. Good evening to our Tennessee brothers. Good evening to him. Hope he's doing well, and glad to have him here. And Sean has a question. I believe that GEC meeting is on Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? What time is that, Jason? Do you know?
It's generally around 2 or 3 o'clock. I haven't heard the exact time stated, but I think it's going to be 3 this year. Okay. But it's going to be on Wednesday, 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And, you know, if you are a member of the SCV and you're a member in good standing, you can attend any of the General Executive Council meetings.
You just don't speak unless you're recognized or called upon. But mostly it's going to be the voting members that are going to do 99% of the talking.
Yes, but you'll get to hear everything that's going on. And, you know, you go to Reunion, and that's where you catch up on all of the information. And that's why you go there. If you want to come to the GEC meeting, you'll know what they're going to talk about. And then they will have, after the business session on Saturday, the newly elected officers will have a post reunion GEC meeting. And that's generally right after. Sometimes it's an hour, depending on how the time breaks down. And then you will hear the newer people come in office. Now, they really can't conduct any business, because they're not sworn in until Saturday night. Yes, until Saturday night. So, but they can go ahead and they can tell who the appointees are going to be, who's going to be the judge advocate in chief, who's going to be the chaplain in chief. And you can make those appointments and or let the GEC know those appointments. And then you can have a discussion on what your plans are for the next 2 years. Because, John, you've been in this position before. You know those 2 years fly by.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Oh, yeah, they do.
You know, you have these things you want to do, and then there's all this business of the organization as well. And it's so you can, you know, you're organizing and getting going. And another reason why for you to bring your SCV ID card, your membership card, is for the speed of things, because you can show up and you can hand that, because I'll be doing credentials. Some, Eric Pravedi will be too. There'll be others that are helping. And what you do is you just walk up with your credentials form and that card, look it up, write it down, sign it, and you're gone. If not, there's all of these things we have to go through looking up.
Yeah, just makes it go a lot quicker.
Yes, sir.
So again, 131scv.org. If you haven't got your registration done, want to be with us this year, and you're an SCV member, encourage you to go ahead and get that done. Make your plans to be there in Lexington. Again, really easy to sign up and get registered. Going to be a good week doing the business of the SCV. And now, Jason, before we get into our sponsors and take our first break, and you can help me out in case I miss anyone here, let's go through the list of those that are going to be seeking office at this national reunion that we'll be electing. And let's start at the top. Let's start with Commander-in-Chief. That will be voting. All these elections will take place on Saturday, correct?
Yes.
Well, so Commander-in-Chief will go ahead.
Oh, well, I was going to say on Saturday morning, the armies were gathered and they're different. You'll have an ANV, AOT, and ATM, and they generally meet at 8 a.m.
Yep.
and they will elect their officers in there. And then you'll go into the business session, the main business session. And that's when those announcements will be made. And then from there, you'll go into the elections for Commander-in-Chief and Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief.
Yeah. And of course, you've got some opposition we know of this year. That could change from the floor as well. You could have others, which we know that will mean it's going to be voted upon. That's why your credentials are so important. So you'll go out to vote during that morning business session, and all those times will be announced. Of course, Commander Donnie Kennedy, this will be his final business session on that Saturday, as he will be completed his term as Commander-in-Chief, and we know a new Commander-in-Chief will be elected. We know right now that the current Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief, Tony Griffin, has told us he's seeking that office. So a nomination will happen on Saturday morning, and then the floor will be open for other nominations. But right now we know Tony Griffin is seeking that position of Commander-in-Chief. Now we look at Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief, which will happen during that time as well. We have two individuals that have announced. We've had both of them on this show, Roy Hudson and Charles LeRae, have both announced they're seeking the office of Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief. So that same process will happen. They have to be nominated, and there could be others beyond those two, but those are the two that we know in advance that have announced that they are seeking that position. So that will happen. We know that goes, correct, Jason, if I'm wrong, to a ballot vote, because there are two seeking that position that we know of already.
Yes, correct.
And then, of course, we'll be announcing during that time who has been elected from the different armies. And let's go through the ones we know about. We'll start with Army of Tennessee. And Jason, you may have to help me a little bit on the other armies if you can. Army of Tennessee, we know for Army of Tennessee Commander James Patterson from Tennessee has announced that he is going to seek that position on that Saturday morning. And then also for Army of Tennessee Councilman Forrest Dawes has announced that he will seek that position. Again, there could be other nominations during the Army meetings for those, but those are the two that we do know about. Now, Jason, help me out with Army of Northern Virginia. Can you help me there? Who we know about for sure?
Okay, in the Army of Northern Virginia, the current Army of Northern Virginia commander, he is seeking re-election. That is Jamie Graham. He does have some opposition. Kenny Ramsey is running against him. Now, that's something, if you're in the Army of Tennessee, Army of Trans-Mississippi, you're not going to be in their Army meetings. You've got your own Army meeting to go to. So those armies, those divisions that are located in those armies, those will be the ones that are electing them. Now, Randy Burbidge is the current Army of Northern Virginia councilman, and he is also seeking re-election. And as far as I know, that is not contested.
And Jason, in those meetings, they happen really the same way for commander and lieutenant commander happen. You'll have, if it's a ballot vote like that, you have two, that will be done the same way with your credentials. There'll be people in that meeting, in that Army meeting, to make sure that happens. We saw that this last time is in the Army of Tennessee had multiple people seeking those positions. So we saw that occur and went well. And we hope this year's will go the same. And of course, Army of Trans-Mississippi, Jason, help me out here on those candidates.
Yes, Army of Trans-Mississippi, the current commander is John McCammon, and he is seeking re-election. And as far as I know, I have not heard of any opposition. But remember, as John said, opposition can come up from the floor during these meetings. And the Army of Trans-Mississippi councilman, they have a new gentleman running from Louisiana. His name is Bobby Herring. And Yep. So that's, as far as I know, neither one of those are contested. Nothing in the Army of Trans-Mississippi is contested. Nothing in the Army of Tennessee is contested. Announced contested. Okay.
Yes.
Stuff can come up from the floor. The only position in the Army level is the Army of Northern Virginia commander, and that is between Jamie Graham and Kenny Ramsey.
And something, Jason, I would say, anybody that sought office, we appreciate those being respectful to one another that have opposition and have been done so the entire time. And that's much appreciated. And it means everything runs a lot better. And we wish them both the best, and those that have opposition in their different races. And we wish them all the best. And we'll see how it turns out after the delegation votes at the
Yes.
reunion. So all those will take place during the Army meetings, and then the final business session on Saturday morning, and then we will have newly elected officers.
And there's one other thing that also we'll have resolutions that will have to be voted on. Most of the time, those happen on Saturday.
Sure.
Also, we'll have amendments. Okay, if you saw that extra packet that come in your Confederate Veteran magazine, you found out about 5 amendments, and those 5 amendments will be voted on as well. And depending on how busy things get, some of that could happen on Friday because you simply might not have enough time to deal with it on Saturday, because you generally have about a 3-hour window. You'll start about 9, finish about 12. And the reason why I say about is, what if you have an Army meeting that goes long? One of them I was in, we had a contested election from the floor, and it was nearly 9:20 before they got done. And it was 9:30 or after before the regular business session started. So timing's going to be a little up, and people think, well, I'll just come there on Saturday and vote for everything. In a perfect world, I agree. But we might have to make some adjustments, either on voting on the amendments or resolutions. So you might hear some of that on Friday. Just telling you so you can make plans accordingly. But I will agree, in a perfect world, all of that's happened on Saturday.
And that will take a little time on those amendments, because there will be discussion to those. You go through the parliamentary procedure there, following Robert's Rules of Order. It does take a little time to get through that. And when you have, I believe it's 5 amendments that we have to vote on. So again, we're not going to go through those tonight and break those down. You can go back to your Confederate Veteran magazine and look at those, make your decision, what your choice is and your camp is, and how your camp wants to vote, and bring that to National Reunion if you're the delegate, and you'll be casting these votes during that time. And it's going to be a fun time, be a busy time, a lot of business to get through. We'll hear many different presentations throughout the week, and what great things are happening in our organization. Again, it's not just business. We get together and have a good time afterwards, enjoy ourselves. You have an oratory contest that takes place, I believe that's on Friday evening. That's always a lot of fun. We've got somebody from Tennessee stepping up already. I won't say who he is because I don't think that's officially announced. It's going to do one for Tennessee. He had to seek approval through the division commander, and he has done so. And hey, I'm pulling for all of them, but I'm pulling for the Tennessee guy really well. So it's going to be good. It's always a lot of fun. And we've seen some great contestants in the past. One that always stands out to me is Kenny Ramsey, and him coming in his astronaut uniform. Yeah, that stands out as a great one. There's been some good ones over the years. And of course, Moose and Connor have had some of their fun during the time with SCV chats. Always a lot of good times. You get to know folks and get to see people that you may only see once or twice a year. So looking forward to it next week. Again, 131scv.org. Go get registered, make your plans to be there. We'll do the business of our organization and also have a good time as well. Well, Jason, we've come up on the bottom of the hour now. It's time for our first break. And again, we thank our sponsors for making this show and all of SCV Chat's network possible. We couldn't do it without these fine folks that have signed up on Patreon. You can go to scvchat.com and learn about the different levels and how you can go in there and sponsor as well as show sponsors. Jason, tell us tonight about those different levels. Again, how you can join and be a sponsor of the program.
No, thank you, Commander. I'd be honored to, because without the show sponsors, we wouldn't be able to do this. I mean, we might have done the first 6 months, but we wouldn't have been able to continue. And I want to thank the show sponsors for that. We'll start out with SCV Chat and Patreon, and you can go to scvchat.com and go over and click on Support Us, and that'll take you to the Patreon site. And you can sign up for different levels. $2.50 a month. That is the entry level. And of course, you've been hearing us talk about that is called the Feed a Moose level. And the reason why it's been called that was, how many years have we heard Harrison talk about being a poor, broke college student?
I think he's still poor and broke after being in college, so he ain't got past that yet.
Yes, sir. He is now a poor, broke adult. Yeah. Like, welcome to the real world, son. And $2.50 a month, you get the Feed a Moose level. And $10 is what they call the real chat head level, because at $10 a month, you get to see some of the behind the scenes stuff, some of the things they're talking about with upcoming episodes, these videos that they're talking about doing. You get some insight into all of that, and you get that for $10 a month. And you also get the behind the scenes. They'll have a after show, and you'll get access to that. Then you have the $30 a month, which is the merchandise level. You get the real chat head level. Then on plus you get this merchandise, and things come in the mail randomly. You'll get a message, hey, you're getting something. And it's some pretty cool items. And I've shown them to Harrison and to Connor, and they can't get those. So you get stuff that even they cannot get. Then the $80 a month level. These are the people who step up and are show sponsors at $80 a month. And we're going to start with Dr. Chris Cummings. And do you want to, there you go. I'll let you talk about Dr. Cummings. You know him.
Yeah, Dr. Chris Cummings there, Modern Medicine Southern Hospitality in Oxford, Mississippi, a fine physician, does a great job. And especially if you're dealing with a knee pain, he's the man to go see. You can travel to him if you're in Mississippi or out of the area as well. I'm sure he'd love to talk to you and help find solutions to make life more manageable there. If you're dealing with pain issues, especially that knee pain or other medical issues, go see Dr. Chris Cummings and make sure to tell him and send him a message too and say thank you for sponsoring Tennessee Tuesday and SCB Chat.
Yes.
31st Reg Engraving.com. Jason, we've talked about them. You see the wrist bracelet there that Moose usually wears. It has the name of his ancestor on it. 31st Regiment Engraving does those kind of products, and you can see many of the other engraving items they do. And you want to talk a little bit more about them?
Oh, yes. Now, this is done by California Division Commander Todd Terry. Now, I don't know if he's got time to, if you have us wanting something special, I don't know if he has time now to have it ready for reunion, because he's going to be coming over in just a few weeks. And there he is. Great to see you, Todd. We're talking about your 31st Reg engraving. You can see the earrings that they have there, the bottle opener, the flask, the challenge coin. They do very special engravings for Southern themed items and custom laser engraving. And I want to thank Todd Terry for doing this. Thank you, Todd.
Absolutely. Also, booksbylarry.com. That's past Commander-in-Chief Larry McClooney. His latest book is Paradox of Freedom. And of course, we've had him here on the show. He's talked about this book. So much research has gone into this, and his many other books as well. And I know he's working on a new book to come out late this fall or maybe the first of next year. So if you haven't picked up your copy of Paradox of Freedom, A History of Black Slaveholders in America, you can do so by going to booksbylarry.com. Thanks to Larry McClooney, another one of our show sponsors here on Tennessee Tuesday. And Beauregards Taylor, a family business driven proudly by offering authentic War Between the States reproductions. Jason, they have so many different products. Tell us about some of the other items they have.
Well, as you see there, they've got reproductions, T-shirts, flags. I've heard so many people complaining about their flags and their stickers, things like that. And I know some people, Beauregards Taylor used to specialize in first-rate uniforms, and they have slowed that operation down. They might have some something that you need, but contact them. But the flags are great. The stickers are great. And you can visit them at BeauregardsTaylor.shop. And I'll tell you, their uniforms were spot on. They were they were meticulous, fully researched, and very accurate. And it's the same thing with their other merchandise that they have. They have very good reproduction flags. I've heard wonderful things about them.
We appreciate Beauregards Taylor being one of our sponsors tonight. The museum at Market Hall in Charleston, South Carolina. I've seen this museum in person, and man, what a museum it is. It's been there since 1899. The regular hours are Thursday through Sunday from 11 till 4, and their motto is that the flag is out, we are open. And there's some more information how you can contact them. Also, check out their website, museummarkethall.com, museum@markethall.com, and there you'll find different gift items that you can take home and order. Again, make sure when you visit Charleston, South Carolina, you visit the museum at Market Hall. Again, their website to learn more about them and how you can join them and help out with the great museum that they offer, a museum at markethall.com. And Jason, tell us about the Sam Davis Home and Museum.
Yes, this, you can go to Smyrna, Tennessee on Sam Davis Road, and you will see this home. Sam moved into this home when he was about 5 years old, was reared in this house. You can visit there now. You can go inside the museum, and you can watch a film about Sam Davis. You can look through the museum. The museum has the letter that he wrote home to his mother. Dear mother, father, do not forget me. I regret to inform you that I have to be hung in the morning by the Federals. They have that letter that he wrote. You can do a scavenger hunt. You can do a tour of the historic home, and you can go in through the front doors, and there on the right where Sam Davis laid in state. And then you can go upstairs to where the girls' room is, and the story of Sam's mother hearing the wagon pull up with Sam's coffin and walking out and looking through the window and looking down into the wagon and seeing Sam's coffin and collapsing. And then you can go inside the museum. They have a gift shop, souvenirs, and they have some very well-made, homemade and locally made goods that you can purchase there, like Sam Davis honey. Mm-hmm. And then if you're outside, you've got a creekside walk. We've got this arbory there, and you can walk through all of these trees. You can visit the home, the smokehouse. You can go to the tree in the rock where Sam tied his horse. You can go walk up and tap on his parents' bedroom window, just like Sam did that night. You can go there and you can experience all of this. And it's at 899 Sam Davis Road in Smyrna, Tennessee. And then you can join and support the Sam Davis Home and Museum. Currently, I'm on the board, and we've just gone through some more renovation on some of the windows. We were very lucky that we got a grant. And these are the original window panes. Now, as you know, we're having to rebuild all the sashes. It's nearly a 200-year-old home. And what they are doing, all the flashing and the sashes, they take the windows, they take the glass out, and they put the glass back in the original positions, because we have almost all of the original glass in the windows, which is extremely unusual. And you can see them there. They're working on the gutters. On a home like this, you spend a lot of time on maintenance. John, you live in an old home. Mm-hmm. You know that there's a lot of time and a lot of work goes into maintaining an older home. And you can go there, you can go through the home, you can become a member. The one thing that I've been there a few times. One thing that I would advice I would give people is give yourself a couple of hours and go to the gravesite, learn the story of Sam, go into the museum, watch the video, go do a tour of the home, and then go to the gravesite. And you can start to know the story of Sam Davis and the Sam Davis Home.
Absolutely. I want to say a shout out to Jill there from the museum at Market Hall making a comment. Happy to be one of our sponsors. And we're so glad that she is in the museum at Market Hall. And also through July, they're open on Mondays as well. So if you're going to be in Charleston, you've got another opportunity on Mondays to go see the museum at Market Hall. So thanks to them and all of our sponsors tonight. Jason, let's take our first break. We'll come back and we'll show some of the activities in the Tennessee division and more of your comments. We'll be back right after this.
There is a place nestled in the rolling farmland of southern Middle Tennessee. A home constructed in 1837, nearly lost to the ravages of war. Saved by a servant and a Confederate general. A place where families loved and lost. If walls could talk, what stories could be told? If a place, a home, can feel love, loss, pain. Surely this is one of those places. Nearby is a more recent structure, and inside are the stories of heroes and heroines, stories of battles won and lost, stories of sacrifices made by the people of its native soil. A place that will tell the true and complete story of the Southland and the war fought for its freedom. From the causes that led to the conflict to the modern-day struggles to protect Southern history. Historic Elm Springs and the Confederate Museum at Elm Springs are the general headquarters for the Sons of Confederate Veterans. A place where the story of the Southland and its historic struggle is preserved and told. Come and discover your history.
Our Southern heritage is under attack. Whose heritage, some may ask? Well, the heritage of those that love God, their families, and their homes. We must stand together and fight back against those who wish to destroy it. The Sons of Confederate Veterans regard these attacks as frivolous and are committed to preserve and protect our history. We can't do it alone. We need your help. To learn more about membership, visit TennesseeSCV.org. If not us, who? If not now, when? And welcome back into Tennessee Tuesday. That little slogan there is one Jason said a lot when he served as commander-in-chief. We heard that many times, and it's a very good slogan to use. And Jason, of course, the SCV is celebrating 130 years of faith, heritage, and honor. Of course, formed in 1896 officially, the Tennessee Division, along with the Sons of Confederate Veterans nationally, celebrating 130 years this year. So big happy birthday to us. And we're one of the older organizations that's a heritage organization in existence that's been around 130 years and still going strong. And we hope to be here long after we're going, still telling the story of our Confederate ancestors and the Southern soldier and his reason for fighting during the war. Thank you for listening to Tennessee Tuesday tonight and watching with us. Several folks have been chiming in the chat tonight. We always thank you for doing that. That makes the program interesting. And I love when folks are having conversations between each other in the chat and answering questions that we may not be able to get to fast enough. Again, Jill joining us this evening. We're glad to have her here. And of course, their sponsorship as well.
I love this, the fact that they're there and the fact that they sponsor this. I thank the museum at Market Hall. I've been there several times, and every time I go, it's an amazing event. Thank you.
Yeah, it definitely is. Well, we're back into the program, Jason. A good evening tonight as we're celebrating our end of season 2. This is episode number 25 in season 2. And go ahead and make a programming note to what's coming up with Tennessee Tuesday as we get into our next season in season 3. So next Tuesday night, the 14th, we won't have a live show as we'll be preparing to go to the national reunion. You'll already be there. I'll be on my way. But sometime during next week, we will have some live video with some different things. We'll probably partner up with the guys of SCV Chat and Connor and Moose some. We may do some things separate on our own throughout the week and give you some updates so you can follow us there. And then we plan to return on the 21st with a new season to get into season 3. So we hope you'll stay with us. And if you would like to be a sponsor, if you would be interested in being a guest, maybe you do a history presentation, Jason, or you have something your camp is going on, especially in Tennessee, but we'll talk beyond Tennessee as well. And this is where, Jason, I'm going to pull up. I should mention my nickname that Moose has given me. Everybody here on the show, you're a T-Rex. They have their nicknames and others. I'm called Swiper. Now, you may say, what in the world? How did you pick up that name? Well, when he first texted it to me, Swiper, what in the world? Where did he come up? Then it just hit me like all of a sudden. Yeah, so current Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief Tony Griffin has been on with us, and I had Tony on before Moose and Connor did to talk about his candidacy for Commander-in-Chief. So I swiped his guess a little early, so now I haven't. I think I've done it twice somehow. Our schedules work different to when we all got them on, so I picked up a
Yeah.
nickname, so I think I owe Moose. Moose one.
Well, and you did him honest. And here's the reason why. They tried to rework and reschedule, and it didn't happen. So they are going to replay our video on Look Around or SCV Chat, the video that Tennessee Tuesday did with Tony Griffin, because they didn't have him on. So if it hadn't been for Tennessee Tuesday, we wouldn't have had that interview.
Yeah, so we're glad to be able to do that. Glad to get that information. We joke between ourselves, but we're all working together for one cause. Again, I want to mention that we have had our current candidates for Lieutenant Commander in Chief, Roy Hudson and Charles LeRae, on in the past. I wanted to try to get them on one more time before National Reunion, but schedules just have not worked out to make sure we made that happen. But if you'd like to go back and watch the previous episodes, you can do that at TennesseeTuesday.com. They're on the YouTube channel, so you can go back and find them, and the ones that are on SCV Chat's YouTube channel as well are available. So just search back there in the history of those videos, and you can go back and find those interviews. So if you'd like to listen to their platform one more time, what they'd like to do and what they stand for, that is still out there for you to go back and listen to. So, but I do thank both of those guys for being on with us in the past, and wish them both well at the National Reunion here next week for their candidacy for Lieutenant Commander in Chief, and admire anybody that wants to stand up and lead in an organization and do that. And I appreciate both of them stepping up to do that, being on with us here on Tennessee Tuesday. I try to make it easy for all of our guests. I tell them that. I said, I won't ask you any really, really hard questions. We'll make it easy and just have conversation. And both of those guys have been so gracious to be on with us, and I do appreciate both of them joining us. So now let's get into a few other things we want to mention. This one here is an event coming up that was sent in to us a few weeks ago, but want to mention again because it's coming up this weekend, Saturday, July the 11th. It's the NV Forest Picnic at Falls Creek Falls State Park there. Again, SCV organizes that, and that's a great event there. And 2307 and the Highland Brigade put that on. So if you want to reach out to Jimmy or any of those folks in the camp there and you're interested in attending that, all the details they can pass along to you what they need for that day. That's always a good time there with the picnic. Now, this one here, we want to mention it's coming up. It's been moved around a little bit. The Rutherford County Historical Society is hosting Brett Hawkins for his program on Nathan Bedford Forrest. He did the first one last year, part one. So part two is the true story. He's going to be doing that presentation on Monday, July the 20th. This time it's going to be at the Sam Davis Home in the Visitor Center, so free and open to the public. And Brett Hawkins does a great job in his presentation on General Forrest. Part two, that's coming up Monday night, July the 20th at 7. So if you're interested in going to Smyrna and being at the Sam Davis Home, you will enjoy that presentation. And as you can see, part one is out there on YouTube. If you'll search that, you'll be able to listen to part one and then go enjoy part two of that presentation on General Forrest. And speaking of General Forrest, Jason, let's talk a little bit about the Forrest 200 Society. We brought this back at the 200th birthday of General Forrest, and there's still an opportunity for you to join this program. And here are some of the things you can get. Jason, I'll let you jump in and talk about some of those items when you join for your $200 that you'll receive.
Oh, yes. You will get, for the $200, you'll get that challenge coin. On one side, you see Nathan Bedford Forrest on top of a horse. Now, there's been discussion of which one that was. Was it King Philip? Was it Roderick or Roderick? We don't know. But that is an imagery that you will find quite a bit around here in southern Middle Tennessee in the Chapel Hill area. On the other side of that coin, as you will see the SCV logo and an imprint of the Nathan Bedford Forrest home in Chapel Hill. And then a patch, and it's one of these that you would sew on to your vest or a denim jacket or something like that. Pretty good size patch. And you will also get the little lapel pin. And it looks like it's the same design on the center of the lapel pin as on the challenge coin, and you get a membership certificate. And then you will also put your name. The Forrest Escort is the newsletter for the Tennessee Division Sons of Confederate Veterans, and you will be mentioned in it as having been a member the Forest 200 Society, and we were only doing 200 memberships.
So there's a few of those that remain. There's
Yes.
a few remain, so you have the opportunity to jump in on this. And of course, the proceeds from this go to benefit the Forest Boyhood Home in Chapel Hill and other projects that are happening on the site. Again, your $200 there comes to the Tennessee Division, and all that's going back into the Nathan Bedford Forest Boyhood Home. You can go to TennesseeSCB.org. There you will find the membership form there to download. You can send that in, and I believe, Jason, that's coming to you, and you'll process those, and we'll get those things out to you. And what we'd like to do, if you're in Tennessee, I would love to be able to present those to you in person at one of our division executive council meetings, especially with that pen, and pin you there and present that certificate. So if you're interested in doing that, it's just $200. Our camp has done that a couple of years ago, and encourage your camp or your brigade or you individually to do that in TennesseeSCB.org, or reach out to me and Jason if you have questions. We'll be happy to get that information to you and how you can help out with all the projects going on at the Nathan Bedford Forest Boyhood Home. And now, Jason, that's the perfect segue to talk about the home there. There's a photograph from this year's event. The front shot. We had a great attendance this year. Just a good day weather-wise. It was warm, but not overly bearing hot. Just a great day together. And, of course, tour the home. There was different vendors set up. And, of course, what we're raising funds for and have been, and the work has started, is the Forest Hall, which is going to be a pavilion. And ultimately, when it's all done, eventually and enclosed, you'll have a small museum space, an office space, bathrooms there. And the part you see being constructed in that picture is going to be what we call the front section of the building, which will have those bathrooms, the kitchenette, and all that in there. And then the larger section on the back here, and Jason, you feel free to jump in these photographs. You can see the pavilion part that will be open there. So Jason, jump in and tell a little bit about what folks are seeing.
Yes, this is a backside of this is right now going to be an open air pavilion. That's going to be the plan for quite a while. There's talk about maybe in the future, maybe enclosing it or making it where you can shutter it or doing something in case it starts to rain. But all it's going to have is just a cover over it. And you see the post. Those are the beams going up. You can see the 4 bolts that are coming up out of the concrete. There's some special brackets that we had to have designed, and those will bolt on to those bolts coming out of the concrete. These posts will sit inside that. And there's our post going up. And you can see the other rafters and everything else that's come in. It's going to be a nice open air, all wood pavilion. Mm-hmm. And right now you would be standing there looking at the home. If you'll notice on the left of that picture, you will see 2 crates. It looks like it's got dog heads stuck coming up out of the top of them. The black pieces, those are all of the brackets that we had to have special made for this.
And of course, there's that image there. You see that there's the front section, and we would be standing close, well, not at the house, but closer to the house, looking across the field to the pavilion, which will be across the back section.
Yes. Yes.
So Forest Hall is coming along. We hope to have that done maybe by early fall. Those guys are out there working. The weather has been a little tough, Jason. It's been hot, so that's been a challenge. And of course, we're always working on weather. It took a little time to get going, to get everything settled and in order, and all the stuff that we needed. Those brackets, as you mentioned, had to be made. There were some changes that had to happen to those. So work is done thanks to Gene Andrews, Sean Hill, and others that are out there working on that project and making sure it all comes together and happens. And Jason, financially, you've been the man behind the scenes as the division adjutant as funds have come in. You're coordinating those and make sure the people that need to be paid are being paid. And it's worth mentioning here, Jason, you mentioned this last time, but this is when this project is done, it's debt-free. There's no debt going to be on this.
None whatsoever. No, whatsoever. Everything's going to be paid for as we go along. There's not going to be any debt on this. And it's wonderful because there's a whole lot of maintenance and everything. There's a lot of upkeep that goes on at the home. And I appreciate and thank everybody who's donated to this because this is a wonderful project.
Absolutely. So Forest Hall coming along, and there's your update of what's happening there. And a little bit of feedback tonight. Jason, can you hear that feedback?
Yes, and I was wondering if it was me at one time.
No, I think it's one of those things with the software. So I'm turning volumes down as I talk, and then we'll kind of jump back and forth there. It happens. It's part of it. Some of those tech issues, it wouldn't be a live broadcast of some sort if you didn't have an issue from here and there. But let's go through some other events and activities that are happening. And I want to pull up some of these photographs here, and we'll kind of go through them. This is the Keeling Camp number 52 there in Bristol. They were recently in a parade, and we've got a few photographs, and I believe these come from Mr. Billy Joe Holly. He shared these photographs, and here's a few of the gentlemen there and the parade. So appreciate them being out there honoring our ancestors, and well responded to. And I believe they've been in that parade many times over the years. So thanks to them for sending those into us to feature. Also here, of course, this is the John Hunt Morgan Camp number 270 at the Greenbrier 4th of July celebration. They have booths set up for that event. You can see them there in front of the historical home. And then, of course, a little closer shot there, you can see their camp flag, and they're set up at the 4th of July celebration in Greenbrier. So we appreciate those guys and what they do to honor our ancestors in those camps. Also, the Huddleston Poor Camp. I believe we showed this one last week. It was sent in to us again. They're, of course, in Byrdstown. They're at an event they were at and had a gathering. So appreciate to them. And they're a fairly new camp in the last year and a half or so. They have come in and doing a great job up there, and appreciate all the work that they do. Also, this next photograph here is another one from them. This was at the Great Day in Byrdstown was the event. And then there's another photograph. You can see everybody had to have those fans. This time of year for outside events, you better have one because it's been hot. But appreciate them bearing the heat and promoting what the SCV does and our Southern ancestors. So there's a few photographs that have been sent in to us so far. And I've got one more here, and I want to make sure I identify everybody right. Jason, let me pull this image up here. This was sent to us by Chuck Roydhouse. And let's show you the photograph here of the gentleman he's with. This is the recruitment booth for the Jim Davis Camp 1425 at the Hillbilly Days Festival there. You see those that are pictured, Eric Durham, also James Christian, Mrs. Beach, and, of course, Commander Ronnie Beach, and Chuck Roydhouse there representing the brigade is in the center of that photograph. So appreciate to them setting up their booth at the Hillbilly Days Festival.
Yes, they were there instead of being. Oh, I'm sorry, John.
Go ahead.
They were there. They were there instead of being at the Forest Boyhood home, because Chuck Roydhouse come out and helped us set up on that Friday, and then he said, "I got to leave. I need to go visit my camp." He said they're setting up at a festival, and Chuck Roydhouse is a lieutenant brigade commander. Is that correct?
That's correct. He is. So I appreciate him going out there. It's faithful to attend many events, and appreciate all of our camps working so hard this summer, and still many more festivals and fairs coming up. We've got some will be happening in August and September here in West Tennessee that we hope to have booths at. Enjoy being out and talking about our ancestors. Let's see. Let's check up on the comments here we have seen that have come in. Let's see. David Pope mentions this weekend will be the encore presentation of America 250, and next week he will be off. So friends of the Douglas Southall Freeman Facebook group, you can go and watch him. And here in just a moment, as we get ready to wrap up in just a few minutes, you'll be able to learn about all the different programs on SCV Chat. Let's see. Of course, Charles Array jumped in here. Yes, he's going to reshare that appearance on Tennessee Tuesday on his page. And again, those are out there, him and Roy, that you can go back and you can hear their platforms. And I encourage you to go watch those if you don't know Roy or Charles, and you'll be able to hear what they stand for and make that decision before you go vote next Saturday at the National Reunion. Let's see. Sean here says they have been restricted to half days because of heat, talking about the work at the Forest Hall. Yeah, it's been hot. It's kind of hard to do much work. Again, Elliot Jackson, thank you there from Camp 270. I know he was in some of those pictures. I didn't get to share them all, but I shared a couple of them. Again, appreciate the work Elliot and the camp there does. And, of course, Elliot's come in as Lieutenant Brigade Commander, too. So appreciate all these folks stepping up to lead in our organization. Let's see, Jason, I think we've got a couple of more things to mention here. If Kyle Thompson is still on with us, the Kentucky Division Commander, he may want to comment on it. I've got to get after the reunion, need to get Kyle on with us. It may need to happen. Our first show would be good if he can
Yeah.
join us and available to talk about this event at Fort Donelson. This will be on August the 1st. You can see all the organizations that have partnered together to make this possible. The Kentucky division leading that, and then the Tennessee division partnering, the Mechanized Cavalry, OCR, UDCs, all the different divisions you see shown there at the bottom are going to come and participate in this event at Fort Donelson. The battlefield there at the Confederate monuments where we'll meet. There'll be several guest speakers. You see the Kennedys pictured there. Will be there to speak as well. So a good time planned. Kyle's been working on this and others, and we look forward to being there on August the 1st. And we'll get Kyle on the program with us if he'll do that, and maybe we'll have a little Hulkamania action too. And we'll talk about the event coming up on August the 1st. So that last year was the first year. This is the second one, well received, and we look forward to being back at Fort Donelson. Jason, you're division adjutant. You may want to talk a little bit about, of course, division dues are time to be sending those in, and nationally as well. This kind of applies to everybody. Get your division dues in and get your national dues taken care of.
Yes, and I want to thank, there's been a pretty good turnout of people that have submitted their dues. And I just want to thank everybody who has. There's already been a few camps that have already sent some in. August the 1st is the due date. That was actually July 31st is the due date. August the 1st is, but we all have August the 1st as National has been very generous in the past of having August as a give you a little extra time to get everything paid. But try not to wait until then. I know there's a lot of people who like to send everything in at the last minute. They'll go, well, if you are, July 31st, okay, but you're going to give me August as a grace period, I'm going to pay you in August. And when you get to the end of August, those last few weeks of August and the first few weeks of September, you're flooded with dues. And if you would just send them in as you go, and some people have been very good about it, just go ahead and send them in. And I like to think of it because, I grew up, my grandparents and all of that, if something was due July 31st, they were paying it well before July 31st. They didn't wait to the due date. Well, there's people that even go with the grace period now, and they plan it that way. I have talked to people here in the Tennessee division that are camp commanders, and National's going to give us August, so I'll pay you in August. And they don't pay a little along the way. And I want to be able to remind people that National offers adjutant and commander training. You can sign up for that. It'll teach you how to do all of this. It'll teach you to go on Salesforce. You can go on Salesforce and pay. If you're a camp adjutant, you can pay all of your camp's dues to National online. You don't have to send them a check. You don't have to call them. You don't have to do anything. You can just go on there and pay it online. And then you just pay your Tennessee division dues. But your national dues, you can pay online. And there's a form out there. You can go to TennesseeSCV.org, and it's a due submittal form. And it's something that you can fill out. Because if you noticed, there's other places for you to give, like you want to give to the Tennessee State Museum flag preservation, or you want to give to the Forest Boy at Home, heritage promotions. You have all of those things, and all of that is broken down on that dues transmittal form as well. So all you have to do is just take what's on this form and transpose it to another one and send that to me. And it just makes it easier. So if you give it to me, and I've had people last year that sent me everything at the end of August, including national dues. Okay. And after August 31st, if I get it August 31st or September 1st, National's not going to take it without the $5 late fee, So, and remember, there's a $5 late fee per person there by the time you get past August 31st.
Yeah.
So go ahead, adjutants, if you have any questions, And a great deal of you contact me anyway, and please do. And we can help work through any of these situations and help you get the dues paid. So please send your dues in. It's
Very
time.
good, Jason. It's time to get those taken care of. Don't put it off. Get it done. National is really easy for you. Pay those online. That's the way I do our camp. Pay them all at one time. We're a smaller camp, so we just pay them all at once. And you can do division that way. You'll make Jason a happy man, make his job easier. And all those adjutants, if you're watching in another division, that same way your division adjutant will be extremely happy with you if you get those in a timely manner and get those taken care of. And again, those funds come in. They're the operating expenses for our national organization and our divisions and your camps. So that's why it's important to get those paid on time so we can continue to do what we do. We depend on those, and we depend on your membership. And again, here to serve you and here to make it easy as possible for you. Just reach out to any of your leadership, and we'd be happy to help you along the way if you have questions or concerns. I see Tom Woods joining us tonight. He's late, but he's here now. It's better to be late than never. So Tom Wood joining us this evening. Tom, hope you're doing well. Thank you for jumping in. Johnny Jenkins says this here. We mentioned the Huddleston camp. He says his great-great-grandfather, he joined the SCV as a Huddleston. So I don't know, maybe there's a connection there.
Yes, sir. Very well could be. That's a pretty, I'm not going to say it's an odd name. It's just not a common name. So, yeah.
Well, Jason, the last event I have here in the list of things is an event that I've been to before. It's Remembering World War II. It's in Linden. This is really neat. If you've never been to this, they take downtown, and I'm going to let you talk about it since you've put it up here for us. But if you've ever been to downtown Linden, they take over the square, they take over the downtown streets, and they have a World War II reenactment. It's really neat, and this has been going on for several years. Again, coming back in September. Tell folks about this, Jason. This is a lot of fun.
Oh, it's a fantastic thing to do, and you can go to the website rememberingworldwar2.com, and you can go there. And to me, one of the most humbling things to do is you will get to meet and greet and talk to World War II veterans.
There's not many left, and they usually have a few that are able to come or at this event.
Yes. I can remember, over my years, all the World War II veterans that I knew that have now passed on. There's not a single World War II veteran that I remember growing up that is alive in my area, and they're getting fewer and fewer. And I would encourage people to go there. They have a great reenactment. They block off the streets. They have a great reenactment there, and it's worth seeing. You can see they're going to have live music playing. They're going to have an open car show, but you get to meet these veterans and you get to talk to the reenactors. If this is something that you think would interest you, you can talk to the reenactors one-on-one, and you can find out what you need to have, and you will find out from many of them that they do a lot more than just World War II. They'll do World War I. They'll do American Civil War. They'll do Spanish American. And they will tell you where to get all of these, all the things that you need to be able to participate. But just to come up and be able to talk to a veteran, and the last one that I talked to was at the TMCA show, which Tennessee Military Collectors Association. He was 102, and that's the age that they're getting. And so take this opportunity and go shake the hand of a hero, because there's going to come a time you're not going to be able to.
Yeah, they're just about, I know our locally here, we have one gentleman left in Humboldt. It's a World War II veteran who just turned 100 this last year. So they're just about all gone. Just like the days of the Confederate veterans when they were having their reunions, you got down to the final few. Now we're seeing that time of our World War II veterans are just about all gone. So again, we salute them, and that's a neat event. If you've never been to Linden to that event, it's worth paying a trip to. A lot of folks come in for this. There's a lot of reenactors there, and many of them travel a good distance to be a part of this event. So again, check that out. I think you'll enjoy yourself. Floyd Harvey says this. You're talking about dues, and my camp started getting our dues paid starting in May. The earlier the better to get those collected and get those in and get that taken care of. Let's see. David Pope says here, I'm reasonably sure we won't have any living World War II Medal of Honor recipients left. That's a good question. I don't know that answer.
I don't know either.
Just about all gone. So speaking of all gone, that is just about wrapped up this edition and our final episode of season number 2. And as we leave tonight, we want to promote the other programs on SCV Chat. Jason, go through that list tonight and tell folks after Tennessee Tuesday on Wednesday, our friend the Florida Man.
Yes, on Wednesday night, you can join Sean McFall, the Florida Man. Look Around Florida. Show starts 7 p.m. Central Time. On Thursday night, now the first Thursday night of each month is Commander's Comments, and that's at 7 p.m. Central Time. All the other Thursday nights, you'll have Look Around the Confederation. On Friday night, you have our friend who's in the chat tonight, Mr. David Pope, and the Friends of the Douglas South Hall Freeman. That's at 7 p.m. Central Time. And on Sunday night, the great man himself, Hardy, Michael C. Hardy, Hardy on History. And that starts at 7:30 p.m. on Central Time. John, do you want to talk about the flagship show that started it all?
SCV Chat, they just celebrated their 250th episode. It's neat that fell that way at our nation's 250th. It's hard to believe. Oh, man, is that almost 6 years? Pushing 6 years we'll be coming into. Is that right? A little over 5 years? They started SCV Chat.
Well, we started, I can give you a pretty close timeline. Jacksonville reunion in 2020.
Okay.
After the election on Saturday, Larry McClooney was Commander-in-Chief and I was Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief. And Harrison and Connor approached me on that Saturday night with this idea. And it started just a few months after that. So you're looking September of 2020 when it started. So we're pushing 6 years.
Well, great job they do. Of course, they have an interesting program. I didn't get to watch it all the way through. Had a couple of things going. They had their George Washington wigs on. I saw all that stuff. Adam was on there with them as well. Again, I've got to go back and watch it all, but just having a good time. Again, appreciate Connor and Moose allowing us to be a part of the network when they came to you, Jason, and to me as well about doing this show. We were glad to be able to offer this and talk about Tuesday and beyond and just things happening in the SCV and promote our good organization and history and in general. And of course, at the National Reunion, yours truly and Jason Boshears will have a booth set up there in the vendor hall. We'll be promoting Tennessee Tuesday. We'll have a few little things for you to pick up and learn more about us and what Tennessee Tuesday is all about. And again, here is a little graphic to show you what we promote. And if you have some of these things going on, as you saw tonight, a photo of a recent event or a historical program, a memorial service, reenactments, things going on, we'd like to share that. There's the email address that you can send to us, Tennessee Tuesday Podcast at gmail.com. And then the website is TennesseeTuesday.com. You can go back and watch past episodes. We came up with a slogan, from battlefields to courthouse squares, because it's our history to tell. No one is going to tell the story of the Southern soldier like we can. It's ours to do. So it's been a great second season. Jason, thank you so much for doing this with me. I've enjoyed it. Look forward to doing it every Tuesday night.
Oh, I do as well. I hate that we're not going to be able to do this on Tuesday, but, you know, we might try to get together after the business session one day and sit down and get somebody sitting around with us and have a good conversation. I'll
have video equipment with me to do live or recording. We'll have some content. If we don't get to do it live during the week, we'll be sure to bring some stuff back for our next episode at National Reunion. Again, the stuff we'll be doing will be outside of the convention hall. Just remember, we're not doing video inside the business session. We'll have some photographs to show you of things of people coming in, but we won't have any video, of course, audio recordings from that. So we won't be streaming the business session, but we'll have some excerpts and things afterwards. We'll try to talk to a few folks, and looking forward to being at National Reunion. Jason, I'll see you there, and we'll be back the week after National Reunion, which officially our next show will be the 21st of July. We'll get into season 3. So thank you, everybody, for watching tonight. We look forward to seeing you at National Reunion and look forward to being back here in a couple of weeks.
Yes, sir. And I tell you, let's try to get Kyle Thompson on so we can talk about the Tuesday after reunion. Well, I don't know if Kyle Thompson's still on, but we can harass him and see if he'll join us on that to be able to talk about that event. That'll be
That
wonderful.
would be great. That'll be great.
And I wish everybody safe travels. I know a lot of people going to be on the road over the next week or so, getting there and going home. I wish everybody safe travels. Prayers for safe travels.
Absolutely. Well, everybody have yourself a great rest of this week, a weekend. We'll see you at National Reunion. Take care. God bless.